Good morning, everyone. I, Nandita Kaushal, on behalf of International Institute for Higher Education Research and Capacity Building and the wider JGU community, extend a warm welcome to all to JGU's 10th Anniversary Commemorative Conference on the Universities of the Future, Global Aspirations and Local Imperatives. I would first like to call Professor C. Rajkumar, Founding Vice Chancellor, OP Jindal Global University, to deliver the welcome address.
All right, a very good morning to all of you. I would like to first of all extend a warm welcome to my own dear students for being present here, because it's always a pleasure to see our students almost forcibly brought to conferences so that they are forcibly fled intellectual engagement, and they willingly accept our forcible bringing them into these conferences. But many years later, they send thank you notes that those conferences really helped us in our future. So I do want to thank them for their presence here. Let me take this moment to extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished speakers, chairs, and participants of this 10th anniversary commemorative conference on Universities of the Future, Global Aspirations, and Local Imperatives. It's a very historic day for us as we begin the journey of our 10th anniversary celebrations. Of course, as you know, this entire year we have been continuously marking this occasion by promoting a number of initiatives, and this is one of the continuum of initiatives that the university has been promoting. But we decided that one of the salutary ways by which we can mark the 10th anniversary of our university is to host a commemorative conference on the theme of Universities of the Future. As you will see, it consciously does not use the word India in the title of the commemorative conference, while many sessions and many speakers would inform and engage about issues related to India. The vision of the conference is to transcend geographical boundaries in terms of its debates and discussions. I'm very, very excited to share with you, and also particularly extend a warm welcome to our distinguished Vice Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan. Dr. Patwardhan is a distinguished academic who has had vast experience of being Vice Chancellor and also heading a number of institutions, and contributed to research and knowledge creation, and also has been an outstanding and inspiring teacher. But most importantly, Dr. Patwardhan, as Vice Chairman of University Grants Commission, has provided leadership towards fundamentally changing the way institutions such as the University Grants Commission has been functioning for many years. He has opened up the doors of the University Grants Commission and has begun to involve more deeply and more pervasively academics across institutions in India with a view to informing public policy, regulation, and governance of higher education institutions. I am grateful to Dr. Patwardhan for many things, but most importantly to provide leadership to the University Grants Commission at a time when India is determining its future of higher education. When 850 million people in this country are less than 35 years of age, none of us on the panel are less than 35, and all the students here are less than 35. I strongly believe that you are the future of India, and we are contributing to transformation of education in this country, and one of the leading organizations that is at the vanguard of this change is the University Grants Commission, and that is what Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, along with Chairman Professor D.P. Singh, is actually heading. I am also grateful to Dr. Patwardhan for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion as we celebrate our 10th anniversary. Thank you very much, Dr. Patwardhan, for your presence here. The second person I would like to extend a warm welcome here is none other than Professor Dr. Preetham Singh. Dr. Preetham Singh is the member of the Empowered Expert Committee of the Ministry of Human Resource Development for selecting and mentoring and guiding and facilitating and enabling the institutions of eminence, which more recently OP Jindal Global University has been part of. Dr. Singh was also the director of Indian Institute of Science, Indian Institute of Management, as well as MDI Gurgaon. But beyond those institutions that he headed directly, for the last almost over 4 decades, Dr. Pritam Singh has been an outstanding institution builder. The institutions that he has built over the last several decades has made immense contributions to nation building. He has also mentored many institutions over the years, and it is also said that many directors of IIM and many directors of other institutions in the country have been mentored personally by Dr. Pritam Singh. Besides his contribution to the public sector, Dr. Pritam Singh has been a leader in the field of executive training and executive coach and mentoring CEOs of numerous corporations in India and beyond. His imprint in the field of training, education and institutional building has been extraordinary, and that contribution has happened over the last 4 decades. Besides these 2 contributions, he has also been an outstanding researcher and author of numerous books and articles and publications, and somebody who has thought through issues relating to management, business development, leadership, including ability to provide transformative leadership in India and beyond. I am grateful to Dr. Pritam Singh for his presence at our 10th anniversary commemorative conference and his mentorship of this initiative. I also want to extend a warm welcome to many other distinguished people who are present here. Let me begin with Dr. Alice Prochaska, former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Oxford and former Principal of the Somerville College, Oxford, Professor Dr. Vinod Bhatt, Vice Chancellor of the Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Professor Dr. Rupmanjari Ghosh, Vice Chancellor of the Shiv Nadar University, Professor Stephen P. Marks from Harvard, and Professor Sudipto Mukherjee, who is from the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and many other individuals who are present here. Professor Mark Miller from the University of Arizona Law School, Dr. Manjula Roy from British Council, and Dr. Paul Flather, also from Oxford, and of course in many other panels they will be speaking. I want to end my welcome address by saying that this is a very historic moment for us in our university as we look back at our 10 years, but also look at the future. But there are 3 important things that I want to share with you as we look at the past and the future. This university was founded because of the generous and extraordinary philanthropy of our founding Chancellor and benefactor, Mr. Naveen Jindal. He had the vision and the courage of conviction to build a university that will outlast his own lifetime. And that is what institutions are about. You create something that outlasts your own time and then nurture it. He not only created the university but also committed to doing it in a not-for-profit manner and ensured academic freedom, autonomy and independence, strengthening the institution from within and contributing to its evolution. I want to say that because as young people, when you go out in the real world working and making your own contributions, remember to make your own impact in the future, and that is to also to be connected to your own alma mater as you look at your future. The second is that our university was created as a private, not-for-profit philanthropic university deeply embedded in notions of public service and leadership. Leadership and public service are central to our institutional imagination, which is connected to our curriculum, our courses, our pedagogy, our research agenda, our commitment to experiential learning, and our efforts to build a transformative institution here in India. That aspect needs to be connected to the life and the orientation of our students, and our faculty work very hard to do that. In addition to that, it is important for us to also look at how we can inspire young minds as they respond to the challenges that they may be facing both within and also outside. These challenges are real, and it is important that universities need to play a mentoring role when it comes to creating an opportunity for our students to achieve their fullest potential. The third aspect of what I wanted to say was that we are a research-oriented university. We are deeply committed to research and knowledge creation. Research and knowledge creation will drive the future of our country and the world at large. But this research which we talk about, unfortunately has been focused a lot more in the past on STEM and medicine, but we are at the vanguard of promoting research in professional schools such as law and architecture, but also in the entire range of humanities and social sciences. As you know, we don't have STEM, we don't have medicine, we don't intend to have those disciplines within our university, but we are deeply committed to the idea of knowledge creation that transcends disciplinary boundaries, and that is a part of our commitment. These three dimensions will form the future of our university as we look at the expansion of our institution. Today we are formally presenting the strategic vision document 2029, which is essentially an articulation of the vision of our university for the next decade. We had already submitted the 15-year strategic plan to the committee to select the institution of eminence. We had our first meeting yesterday when we got to meet with the chairman and the members of the committee. We got to hear their expectations and the plans that we have for the future. As we look at the future, the vision is to expand the institution, but are conscious about our commitment to quality and excellence, and not to waver ever from our commitment to maintaining a 1:10 faculty-student ratio, despite our goals and aspirations to expand the institution. With those words, I want to once again thank all those who are present here to be part of the 10th anniversary commemorative conference. A word of appreciation for the students who are present here as they become part of the deliberations about universities of the future, issues surrounding technology, as well as learning that transcends disciplinary boundaries, and internationalization and research, all of which are debated and discussed across different panels today and tomorrow. To the extent you can, I encourage you to attend the conference, and I know for sure that you will be immensely benefited by this experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those inspiring words, sir. We will now have the unveiling of the Institution of Eminence plaque. May I now request Professor C. Rajkumar, our guests of honor Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan and Professor Preetham Singh and Professor Vaisa Modi to kindly unveil the plaque. May I please request Professor C. Rajkumar to kindly present the report on JGU Strategic Vision 2029.
Sanjay.
I would now like to request and invite Professor Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, Vice Chairman, Universities Grant Commission, to kindly deliver the keynote address.
Good morning. Singh, Professor Rajkumar, all the dignitaries on the dais of the dais, students, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to convey our greetings to O.P. Jindal University for celebrating 10 years of very successful and exemplary, fastest growing university in this country. I think 10 years in education is not a very long time. We have seen institutions with hundreds of years of history. And what I saw today on this campus, what has been created, it's unbelievable. In 10 years, you are not only beginning from scratch, which we saw the architectural pictures, reaching to the top league in the world ranking, as well as getting the Institution of Eminence tag, which is very prestigious. And I must congratulate Professor Raj and his entire team who have worked very hard to achieve this. I'm happy that Raj, you could dream that. And normally when Indian students go abroad, they get into very comfortable life. And it's so attractive to stay there and continue that very few people will think that we should go back and do something for our own people. You showed that, you dreamt that, and not only you could dream, but you could sell that dream also, because that is also important. You conceptualize, and there was a visionary, Mr. Jindal, who could understand the strength, and he got that idea. You realized it also. So dreaming is one thing, but pursuing and actually realizing is another thing, which has been done very successfully. I'm very happy to see the quality and diversity of faculty here, because faculty is core of any educational institute. And I think that Raj and your leadership team right here identified, and I'm sure you must have been mentored by your father, who has been in academia for a very long time. So that's the crux of the situation. And where we have seen that many universities really fall back on the slow track because they don't focus on the faculty part. And not only getting good faculty from our country, but getting faculty from wherever they are. So the kind of international faculty you see here is very rare, and I'm told that this is the university which attracts highest number of international faculty. So congratulations for that. Because that is one point, wherein the global rankings, why Indian university fail or lag behind, this is one of the reasons. International faculty, the diversity on the campus, cultural, lingual diversity on the campus, international. And another thing is research. That also has been strengthened, because research, especially which will go in policy, that's what your focus has been. And I'm very happy that this university chose to do something different than STEM, because everybody jumping in that STEM bandwagon, and lot many management schools are coming, lot many engineering schools were coming, and now we see that many of them are actually on the verge of closure. India has faced a lot of challenges during the last few years, and I think we need examples like O.P. Jindal to show how this can be done in a very systematic way, and how the founders can do something as a true charity and leave the whole operations to the academics who are best in the field. Another example is of Manipal. I'm happy to see my friend Dr. Vinod Bhatt also here. That's another institute which has shown, right, and why I said, because India needs such kind of a league. And I must tell you that Professor Dinesh, what is happening in India is somehow we have been, and there are many reasons, I'm not going to go in those reasons, but we started differentiating between the structures. We started differentiating between the private and public. And I could see whenever I go outside, there is a slow, silent, but very powerful revolution happening in private sector. And we can't ignore that. While there are many bad players in private, there are centers of excellence in private as well. And therefore IOE actually respected both. And I'm happy that Professor Singh is present with us, who was instrumental in conceptualizing this and also implementing it very effectively by shortlisting India's top 10 private and top 10 public institutions. And 2 of them are here in this very hall. 2 more are going to come? Oh, very good. So this actually forms like a league. Like what you have in Ivy League, top, or maybe there is Universitas 20 or whatever, there are several leagues wherein universities come together and follow best practices. So this is what is the intent as well, that not only you excel, but you also together super excel. So, and this kind of experiment is going on in a very exciting way, and I'm very happy to see this strategic vision 2029 just released, and go through that. And but even visualizing that there is need, to build world-class universities in India, because otherwise, what happens? We have a tendency to fall back only on past glory and self-pride. But that is okay, that is fine, we should be doing that. But now what is future? So you have envisaged the future, and you have actually tracked how one could follow that in future. And therefore this kind of a strategic vision plan will be very useful. And I must tell you that at the UGC we are also in a process of organizing invitational conclave of very few people who have seen this evolution, and that we are going to plan at the backdrop of Nalanda, reimagining Indian university. While Nalanda was at one time one of the leading university, and today, where are we? We have to retrospect and we have to plan how to go ahead. So your work, whatever you have done, will serve as a very good foundation to take it further. And so I must tell you that I am going to involve in that group as well. I was impressed when I met him first, and I listened to his thoughts. I read some of his writings and books, and then I told him that don't get surprised if you get more and more invitations from us to get involved in various activities, and which we have done. He was part of our another very innovative idea, which we are going to implement very soon, called National Academic Credit Bank, which was actually initiated when I was with Manipal in 2008-2009, and now we are giving a kind of a concrete shape to that, and Raj was part of that committee. National Academic Credit Bank, in short, is an instrument like any commercial bank, but students are able to really open your own account in that bank. Today, what we are, as teachers, I am telling you, that what we think, that all the students sitting here, some of them are playing with mobile also, I could see. So they are so engrossed in their own technological world. But we think that they are empty boxes. Therefore they think in that way. We think that they are empty boxes, And we as teachers, our role is to pull information from our old notes and put them in their head without realizing what do they want, what are their aspirations, what are their interests. But today, teachers are no more required to give information because students are much smarter than us for giving information. So the monopolization of teaching, what teachers had done earlier, I think those days have gone. So today we are facing a technology and technological challenges wherein robotics and AI is coming in a very big way, supported by hologram-like technologies, where teacher is going to be and how that teacher's role is going to be, we have to be really careful about it because it is future teachers are going to be robots. I don't know if you know, because just last year the Chinese university created a robo and that robo was meant to sit for the medical entrance exit examination, and medical examination like USML is very tough, and robot scored 95% more than the highest who was so far recorded in the history. So robots are coming, but future learning is going to be co-learning. So there is going to be a role of teacher. So cobots is going to come, and that kind of a role teacher must understand. If we don't do that, then there is a very big risk of a disruptive innovation which is coming in, which teachers also will not be escaped. And the technology is at our doorstep, and what we are thinking, like what we see in the mirror of car to see the rear side, the future is much nearer than what we may think. So technology may come, revolution may come much faster, much earlier than what we are thinking. So innovation, research, quality of faculty, and quality of students, diversity of the students, because students, I think, that learn much more even outside the classroom. And we are now developing a new program. There were two programs in India. One is known as National Service Scheme or NSS, in which students are engaged with the community by several means, and NCC, National Cadet Corps, in which students are trained in a disciplined way with the army branches, all the three. So we want, and I was happy to see the community engagement program here, and I told them that I'm going to really involve again O.P. Jindal University in this activity as well. We are thinking that at least for one semester, we want students to go out of the campus. Because again, we are completely undermining the learning that students can do outside the campus. Students can learn so much from community, from people, and that we don't consider anything here. So today, students are not able to do much on their own, excepting few universities. I'm sure O.P. Jindal is one of them. But most of the universities which form base of the pyramid, what we call it as base of the pyramid, the state-run universities, state-funded universities and state-funded colleges, they form the base of the pyramid. In there, we don't give any option to students. We say that credit-based choice system, but that C in credit actually goes on a C for compulsion. So we say that you have choice, but you don't have choice. And so this credit-based system, we are saying that even from the beginning, even before student take admission in a college, student should be allowed to earn credits from wherever he or she wants to earn. For instance, many girl students I have seen, in my own family I have seen, that they do so much of hard work to undergo a very rigorous training of something like Bharatanatyam and get Arangetram. Now, how can you disrespect that kind of an effort? That also is academic activity. And in India, the STEM dominance is so much that our right side brain is shrinking very rapidly, and we have to do something about it very fast. And therefore, O.P. Jindal focus on right brain, I think is again very important. You are given due respect and focus on the right side of the brain and not only on the left side of the brain, which is anyway very important. But another thing happened in India, as a UGC, I don't consider UGC is some body or some building on this Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg in UGC. That's not just that building. UGC, all of you, all the students in India, all the faculty members of the colleges, all the universities, they are part of UGC. So when they will become better, UGC will become better. And so we are, now the new leadership is involving all the stakeholders in decision making. We can't sit there in one room and decide what the entire country should do. I am a biological science student. My work has been to understand the differences of people and connect it with medical therapies. So I really studied and showed that the basic traditional classification which we do in India, by which we classify people in 3 major groups called Vat, Pitta, Kapha, they have genetic connotation. Just 15 years ago, we used to believe that if we give one medicine, it will be applicable to all. At that time, pharmacogenomics was just knocking doors. Today, we know that we need different personalized approach in medicine as well. And the personalized approach is required in many other fields. And I must tell you, education is not going to be exception for that. We can't treat students all are same and tell them you have to take admission, here is the prospectus, here is the syllabus, here is our question bank, here are our model answers, and here is our examination pattern. And if you do exactly like what we are telling you, then only you are likely to be passed, and better you do matching to our expectations, better will be your score. I think this system needs to be read. Because in the whole process, we are not involving students. We are not, actually we are discouraging questioning. Actually we are killing in a way their creativity. And look at the primary school student, how much inquisitive that girl or that boy will be. And look at our PhD students, how rigid they would become, channelized they will become, monotonous they will become. So in the process, we are doing something wrong. So the flexibility in education and new education policy, actually I must tell you that it touches all these aspects very well. It talks about liberal education, and again O.P. Jindal has been foundation for liberal education. When you started at that time, liberal education was not in mainstream. Very few universities had done that kind of experiment here. So in a way, I feel that the new challenges which are there not only now in our country, because now we are talking about SDGs, it's a global phenomenon. We can't get disconnected from what is happening around, and there is going to be a challenge to re-energize our faculty, because I'm not talking about faculty sitting here. I'm talking about the general base of the faculty which we are experiencing. There is a need to re-energize them, because the faculty and the UGC regulations, for example, if you say that to become a professor you need 10 publications, then our faculty became so innovative that they started their own journals, and India got full of predatory journals. It's such a shame, but we have fixed that also now. Now we have fixed that. For example, we said that after you complete your PhD, you should have at least 2 publications. This was done with good intention. But the moment we go on any compulsive mode, our people come out with innovative practices to comply. So you want 2 publications? Okay, we will give you 2 publications. And fantastic names, international journal, global journal, world journal, this journal, that journal, and suddenly you will become so important, that you are so important person in the world that you are being invited as editor, you are being invited to edit some special issue or just publish article. And once you look at their operations and once you look at their price list, and there are now agencies, unfortunately, which are thriving, those who are even selling PhD degrees. PhD thesis, ready-made PhD thesis. Just last week, UGC had to file a criminal police complaint against such player. They are making mockery of research. Research is for search of truth. Research is for your own pleasure. Research is to help people and not just comply something and just do it. And during last 10 years, I must tell you, and I must admit also that a lot of damage was done. and because of this, a lot of poor quality faculty has been infestated in our system. We are trying to clean it up. Now there is something called Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics created by UGC, which involves more than 30 councils and government bodies, and they decide what should happen in their own respective disciplines, and UGC care list has been now published, and that list now will decide whether to give you any academic credits or not. In short, I wanted to tell you that my main purpose of coming here is to acknowledge the effort going on in private sector in India. Recognize that, respect that, appreciate that, and encourage that, because as I told you that there are good and bad both. So we have to focus on quality and not based on whether they are private or whether they are public. Wherever the quality benchmark they are meeting, it really hardly matters, as long as they are doing it for a charitable purpose, as long as they are doing it for not-for-profit motives, as long as they are plowing back whatever surplus they are generating in the system for improving that system, and as long as there is no profiteering for self-interest or self-achievements or any kind of dividend distribution which may happen. So as long as these things are taken care of, we think that whether public or private, they should be treated on par. And as I told you, Professor Singh may talk about it more, but IOE was one very solid example in which government gave this message that we don't want to really differentiate now on basis of this, and we do appreciate this kind of a revolution that is happening, and I'm happy that OP Jindal University stands out as one of the very prominent, and as I mentioned earlier, fastest growing, best quality university where students aspire now to go and learn. I wish you all the best to Raj and your all faculty colleagues, and I must congratulate all the students who shown their daring to really come to relatively place which is not in mainstream happening metros, and dedicate some years of your life in serious learning. I'm sure you'll shape your career very much, and you will do very, very well in your life future. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those encouraging words and kind address, sir. May I now request Professor Dr. Preetam Singh to deliver the inaugural address.
Respected Sri Dr. Patwardhanji, Rajkumar, his father sitting here, Dr. Chokalingam, and very, very galaxy of thought leaders coming from the different parts of the world. And dear students are would-be leaders of the country. When Dr. Patwardhan was talking something about Raj, because I came here when the school began just to see that. And people dream. People are dreamers. But those who dream in the night, they forget their dreams in the morning. But those who dream in the day, they are dangerous fellows, because they actualize their dreams. I think that he has been not a daydreamer, but he dreams in the day. And I think that, Patwardhanji has talked quite a lot about that. But one thing which I find here, I see next orbit, and next orbit. There is a relentless quest to go to the next orbit. And that's what really he has been doing. And I think that there are some people that are never satisfied. I think that in Hindi we say dil mange more. So I think that in his dictionary dil mange more. But Vardhanji has talked quite a lot, and when you are not the first speaker, and after listening to the first speaker, you have to modify whatever you want to communicate. So I will be modifying, and first of all, I would like to contextualize. Chanakya and Gautam Buddha made a very powerful statement. Strategy, actions, words, they don't have any meaning. It's a context that provides meaning to the actions, to the strategy and words. That's why understanding context is important. And I think that Patwardhanji has very powerfully and beautifully has set the context about it. That this is the context. About Indian scenario, about what should be the future scenario, and where the globe is going, and where we have to move. He has given beautifully there. I think that when I see the main purpose of any academic institution, main purpose, why we exist, that's why I say purpose defines the movement and the actions of any academic institution. There are three basic purposes. There are three basic purposes. One is that creation of knowledge. Very jokingly I say, without writing Vedas, you can never become a true Brahmin. So those who are in a Brahminical profession, those who are in the teaching profession, I call them Brahmin, I think that you have to write Vedas. Without writing Vedas, you don't have any reason to exist. That's why creation of knowledge is important. And I think that the world would be ruled and dominated not by the weapons, but the globe would be dominated by the power of the mind. Once upon a time, India had a galaxy of great thought leaders. We went to China, we went to Vietnam, we went to Indonesia, we went to Thailand, and that was the time India ruled the world in terms of knowledge power. I think that, so those nations, if America is ruling today, if some of the European countries are ruling today, I think that they have been ruling the world because of their knowledge power. Because of their knowledge power. And I think that I was talking with Raj, and I was also talking with Dr. Patwardhan. Maybe that going to America for the LEAP program is one thing. Good. Going to Europe would be also something good. But going to China would be a very, very different, because the Chinese journey and the Chinese odyssey to reach that level is extremely important. Because what a great transformation, what a great change, I think that has taken place. Since some teachers are sitting here, so first one is about creation of knowledge. The second one is a dissemination of knowledge. And that's where the publication comes, that I think that how you disseminate to the society, to the globe. So the second one is the dissemination of knowledge. The third one, and very, very important word, third one, application of knowledge. And that's why we say, Arthakari Sudvidya. The purpose of knowledge is what? To create wealth. If the knowledge doesn't create wealth, I think it's not very valued. And Vivekananda made a very powerful statement. Thought without action doesn't have any value. Thought without action doesn't have any value. And action without thought is a futile exercise. Swami Vivekananda made a powerful statement. How to integrate thought and action. That's where the application becomes very important. Now, I would like to say in the olden days, there used to be 4 kinds of teachers. And I think that you were talking something about Guru when you were communicating with the global audience. Guru has got some kind of meaning, so I will come. The first was known as Adhyapaka. Adhyapaka means what? The one who disseminates knowledge. Equivalent to a lecturer. Giving lectures, disseminating information. The second one is known as Upadhyaya. Up samipe adhyanam jakaroti sah upadhyaya. I think that he or she is a mentor. He or she is a mentor. And third one, that's what I was talking with Dr. Chokalingam. The third one is Acharya, where he would be teaching more through his conduct, through his behavior. And when I inquired about that, have you got the bathroom in your office? So I was told that no bathroom is outside. And I think that I never used my bathroom. I always use the bathroom where faculty members used to. It means what? That I belong to all of you. If I want that you belong to me, first of all I must say that I also belong to you. And that is what I was talking with your father, that it's really something I am very, very impressive that I am one of you. That's known as Acharya, by conduct, by behavior. What he says, he means. Walk the talk. That was another kind of thing. And the last one is known as Guru. Guru stands, and Guru is meaning of Guru is the one who removes the darkness from life. He is a Guru. That's why the Guru's word is being used as a Guru Khanta. So that's why actually I find that Guru is that one who removes the darkness from life. He provides the meaning of life. Let me come back quickly to our students who are sitting here, because we will talk more about how to creation of knowledge, dissemination of knowledge, and application of knowledge. Let's talk about the great students sitting here, the future leaders of the country. In China, I'm talking about the Confucius. He gave that story, and I was reading and I was quite excited. He gave the story of a king. He took his son to the teacher, and the mandate was that I want my son should be the greatest king China has ever produced. Teacher said, but I have been grooming kings, no, but not the greatest king. He said, but you have to do it. And he said that, well, mighty king, since that's your instruction and order, I have to do it. And I will do it. So the king said, what should I do now? He said, go back and come back after 6 months. And when he came back after 6 months, the teacher said, your son is the greatest warrior China has ever produced. He can use all the weapons which is important to fight in life as well as to have the victory. What shall I do now? He said, well, you come back, don't come back, you come after 1 year. So he called the student, he said, now you go to forest. And that's where I was quite impressed by your campus. Go to forest. What should you do? Come back after 3 months. So he came back after 3 months. And he said, how much time you are going to give me to make my presentation? Because I need 14 hours. He said, 14 hours. But he prepared very well, because in those days there used to be no PowerPoint presentation. And I always say power corrupts and PowerPoint corrupts absolutely. That's why when Nandita ji said that, don't do your PowerPoint presentation, so I was very happy that at least you know that. So find that he said 14 hours. So he made the presentation. He asked the teacher, what do you feel about my presentation? He said, rubbish. 14 hours of efforts, rubbish. And why you are making rubbish. He said, I see only data and facts, nothing else. Can we go beyond data and facts to have converted into information, information into knowledge, and knowledge into wisdom? And that's why I don't see any wisdom here. He said, what should I do? Now go to your kingdom, move around, and come and make the presentation about the kingdom, about the state of your kingdom. He went, came back, and he said, how much time do you want? He said, I want only 2 hours. So 14 hours became 2 hours. And he became extremely emotional. I said, you never want to be king, you know. I have seen superstitions, I have seen poverty, I have seen hunger, and I think that I would like to spend my time in removing that. He said, good. Now the last one is that you should go for about a month and come back. He said, what I will do after a month? What I will do? He said, no agenda. The day students start building their own agenda, we have to know that. We are not in the business of giving agenda. And the major problem I find, so long as I am a reader, I am a dean, somebody will be giving agenda to me. But when I become the vice chancellor, who will be giving agenda to me? Agenda building is the most difficult job. So he went and came back after a month. He said, how much time do you want to make the presentation? He said, 2 minutes. I will speak 2 sentences, not more than 2 sentences. And dear students, remember those 2 sentences. And those who are in the business of grooming leaders, because we are really, academic institutions are primarily in the business of grooming leaders. If we groom the leaders in the area of research, groom the leaders in terms of in the area of consulting, applications, we have done a job. So he said, okay, say. These 2 sentences are very important sentences. Maestro, while I was moving around, I could hear the sound of unborn child. I could hear the sound of unborn child. I could also hear the sound of sun rays. I could also hear the sound of sun rays warming the petals of roses. The teacher said, Eureka! China would not be having a kid like you. And he became very curious. Why you are making that statement, teacher? He said, well, because you can see tomorrow. You can see unfolding future. Sound of unborn child means you can see, predict future, what will happen. And those who think of tomorrow, they make that today as well as tomorrow both. But those who think of yesterday, they spoil that today as well as tomorrow both. How to build the mindset which can see the future? And petals, warming the petals of roses. What can't be heard by anyone, you can hear. And the teacher said, Prince, you can look beyond, you can look around, and you can look within. The objective of institution is to make people look beyond, to look around, and to look within and prepare themselves. Having said that, and dear students, you must remember that. Can you look beyond? Can you look around like a radar like mine? And can you look within? If you do it, it's fantastic. Only 5 minutes more I will take. Raj, I will take 5 minutes more because I can see that 11 o'clock is the boundary is right. Something about the students. If you think about the leadership, I will talk about 5 mantras. The first mantra is Himalayan vision creates Himalayan energy. Your level of energy is very much linked with your level of vision, with your level of dream. If you want to reach the sky, at least you will reach somewhere. So that's why level of vision is important. That's the first mantra. The second mantra is leadership is nothing, it's a purpose of life. Leadership is nothing, it's a purpose of life. What is the purpose of your life? People don't follow leaders, people follow purpose. We give our life for our wives and husbands because wife is a purpose, husband is a purpose. People give their life for the purpose. And people were prepared to give life for Gandhi because Gandhi was a symbol of purpose. And that's why someone wrote, Chal pade jidhar do ragmak, chal pade koti par usir. Wherever Gandhi moved, crores and crores of people followed. And I said, people didn't follow Gandhi. People followed the purpose which he was pursuing. I think that we had about 25 American professors. And when I, in MDI, and I think that I was there, and I told them only one thing in my lecture, why don't you write the purpose of your life? Next day, Basant Sathe was supposed to come, he didn't come. So the director of the program, he went and he said, we are calling Dr. P.M.C. He said, no, we don't want to listen to Dr. P.M.C. They said, why? He said, well, write down the purpose of your life. You couldn't sleep all night. If you ask the question, what is the purpose of your life? You are going to have sleepless night. And the moment you have a sleepless night, life begins. So the purpose of life is important. The third one is very important. Those who live for others, they never die. Those who live for others, they never die. Malaviya ji, we were talking last night about Malaviya. He will never die. He will never die. Gandhi will never die because they lived for others. And that's why you must have seen, you children must have seen, when you get 104 temperature, you say, oh ma, ya oh bap. You say, oh papa, or oh mummy. What do you say? Why? Why not papa? The poor papa fellow. He go to the office, he makes money and he for the whole family he manages. Because mother is a symbol of sacrifice. Those who are the symbol of sacrifice, they are respected. Those who give, they are respected. So I always say by giving, you are moving towards the godly side. By taking and taking, you are moving towards the devilish side. It's up to you whether you want to move towards God's side or devilish side. So those who live for others, they never die. And the fourth mantra, that's very, very important mantra. Life begins from death. Life begins from death. So long as there is a continuous death in your life, you are having new life. Death of wrong habits, death of wrong thinkings, death of wrong philosophy. Because you can't build something unless you are prepared to destroy something. And that's why there is a very powerful story in Greek mythology. And when I read that story, church was on the verge of collapsing. And people were asked not to go for the morning prayer. After 6 months, corruption was rampant. All the values were eroded. People got together and they said, well, why these things are happening? And the reply was, since we don't have church, that's why these things are happening. Resolution number 1, we must build a new church. People danced, celebration began, said, great. Second resolution came. Since all our lives have been attached to the old church, the new church must be built on the place of the old church. It's a fantastic, great idea. But there was one fellow, he raised his hand, not full, raised his hand, he said, and the new church must be built without destroying the old church. And the new church was never built there. If you want to build a new church, you must destroy the old church. This is the major problem Patwardhans are about the Indian universities. 138 faculty members of the academic council. What can you discuss there? Even one of these institutions whom we have selected, 78% in the faculty council. 2 days meeting goes, 2 days and 2 nights. So I asked the person, what do you do? He said, well, we discuss everything except academic matter. In the academic council, we discuss everything. Please I would say that I was talking with DPC. Somewhere, statues need to be seen occasionally. Unless you do that, unless you change the structure, unless you change the strategy, I think transformation can't take place. We may talk about that, but this will be very, very good. The last point which I would like to say, so are you prepared? Are you prepared to destroy certain things? If you are continuously prepared to destroy everything, fantastic. For example, that Patwardhani made a very powerful statement. He gave the concept of Ardhanarishwara. How many of you have heard the name of Ardhanarishwara? Whose name is Ardhanarishwara? Only one hand, I see. Lord Shiva is known as Ardhanarishwara. Why? Because there is a feminine side and a masculine side. So the culmination of fullness lies in terms of feminine side and masculine side. Because feminine side is creativity, more innovating and all kinds of things, and masculine side is more action-centered. So when you combine both, that's fantastic. The last one which I would like to say, but I don't want to go beyond time, but I will do classes. I said, to be a leader, the leader's life is examination, giving examination every day. Every day. Jesus had to give the examination to lead. So was Gandhi, so was Martin Luther King, so was Nelson Mandela. All had to give examination. Forget about that. Even Lord Krishna had to give the examination to lead Arjuna. Because when the entire Gita was over, and he said, Sarva Dharma Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Praja. Now you do whatever I say. Arjuna said, I don't want to do. I don't want to do. But before that, I will come to that last one. I am asking this, all of you, to do whatever I say. Okay? The instruction is whatever I say, follow my instruction. Raise your hand, all of you. All of you raise your hands. All the faculty members sitting also, vice chancellor sitting also, raise your hands. Rotate your hand. Raise both hands. Rotate both hands. And whatever I say, go on following. Raise only one hand. And make a ring through any two fingers. Close your eyes and take deep breath 5 times. Relax. You are a Buddha. Just relax. You are like a bird flying in the sky. Open your eyes slowly. And please remember whatever I say, go on following. Again rotate your hand. And please hold your chin. Very chin. Chin is here or chin is here? Such powerful mind sitting here, I intoxicated you within 2 minutes, or not 2 minutes. Very powerful mind. Power of action. So thought is louder than, action is louder than the thought. That's important. So Krishna had to give the examination. And I think there are about 21 slokas in I can talk about those. But last one he said, Kiritam Kadinnam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtumaham Tathaiva and Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasra Baho Bhava Vishunurte. Lord, show me your Virat Rupa. And whatever you say, I will follow. I think that leadership is more lafde wala kaam. It's a very messy affair. 21 years of my life, I was asking a question. I was Pritam Singh, and my reply was no, I was not Pritam Singh. I was a different person. Because finally when I went to Lucknow, I put a khadi ka pajama on. And prior to that, I was known as suit person. And somebody asked a question to me that why you put khadi ka pajama on? my wife said, what bloody nonsense is difficult to maintain? So I said, someone asked the question to Gandhi that what prompted you to become a fakir? You come from a very wealthy family. Your father has been Diwan of Rajkot and all along educated in London. So what prompted you to become a fakir? And Gandhi's reply was, this country never heard the language of kings and country. This country never heard the language of kings and emperors. But this country always heard the language of naked fakirs and saints. India followed, Gandhi followed Indians. I think that Indians followed Gandhi. The romance में होता है ना, you follow your fancy and she also follows you. Leadership is something, it's a fancy. Chasing people. You chase people, they will chase you. I think that's students think about that. And I think that all the teachers, my friends, great thought leaders, global thought leaders here, what can be done to bring some kind of acharya concept in the academic institution? That's very important. If not Guru, at least about acharya. Kalidasa, I am a great admirer of Kalidasa. One poem of Kalidasa I like very much. God, you can give me any amount of trouble, any amount of miseries, I will think that one is a blessing. But don't ask me to recite my poem in front of those fellows who are not appreciating. Thank you very much for being very appreciative.
Thank you for such an inspiring and wonderful speech, sir. Before I request Professor Murthy to deliver the vote of thanks, I would request Professor C. Rajkumar to kindly felicitate the guests of honor and present as a token of our appreciation JGU mementos to the guests. Professor Murthy to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
A warm good morning to all distinguished participants and dear students. 10th anniversary is an important milestone in the OP Jindal Global University's remarkable and eventful journey. And we are delighted to organize this commemorative conference on the shape of future universities, particularly in a digital age with rapid technological changes. How do we strike the right balance between the global aspirations and local imperatives? We are truly delighted that two outstanding scholars, Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, Vice Chairman, University Grants Commission, and Professor Dr. Pritam Singh, member of the Empowered Expert Committee of the Ministry of Human Resource Development for Institutions of Eminence, have graced the inaugural session. They have kick-started the conference with their very insightful views Dr. Patwardhan is a part of a very important organization which is steering a series of far-reaching reforms in the field of higher education. He is personally piloting a few of them, including National Academic Bank. On the other hand, Professor Dr. Pritam Singh has been engaged in the task of identification of institutions of eminence in India, recognizing them, monitoring them, mentoring them, with a view to making them world-class institutions. On behalf of all members of JGU community, I wish to profusely thank them. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of many distinguished academics from across the world and from within India who have traveled to our campus to participate in this conference. It is humanly impossible for me to acknowledge each one, but over the course of next 7 sessions, there will be deliberations on different facets of higher education, and a rich intellectual feast truly awaits us. I wish to thank the leadership provided by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Rajkumar, for all his guidance in organizing this conference, and the IIHED staff, and in particular Ms. Nandita, the organizing team in the Office of Rankings, Abhinav Madan and others, Dr. Jagdish Batra, and my own office, and many others for their role in organizing this conference. I wish to thank all the student volunteers and students for their support. Thank you.
There is no break between this session and next session, so I want to say that we will begin the next, the first plenary session, which Dr. Pritam Singh will share immediately. I want to also say that in 2015, in December, when we did a joint conference with the Times Higher Education, we produced what is known as the Sonipat Declaration on World-Class Universities in BRICS and Emerging Economies. And as an outcome document of this conference, our goal is to come up with another declaration, which is entitled Sonipat Declaration on Leadership in Universities. And the draft declaration will be circulated in the course of the day to all of you. And we hope to get your own comments as we proceed towards today and tomorrow. And the goal is, by end of tomorrow, we will have a concrete document which will be known as the Sonipat Declaration on Leadership in Universities, which will inform thinking and policy and practice for the future of universities. So with those words, I would like to say that the inaugural session is ended and the first plenary will begin immediately thereafter. Coffee is served outside, but as those of you who would like to have it, you can go and come, but we will not break after this session. Thank you.